Good morning, San Francisco. It is a fabulous day to be alive and free, a free human being here in foggy Northern California in the beautiful Haight-Ashbury neighborhood of San Francisco. Welcome to Free Talk SF. I am your host, Steven Zeiler. Today is Thursday, July 30th, 2015, and we are here talking about freedom, empathy, and independence for all people of San Francisco. Now, of course, I want freedom, empathy, and independence for everyone else in the world, but we're going to start here in San Francisco because that's where I want to have, that's where I live, and that's where I want to have the most impact now. Free Talk SF, by the way, is brought to you by the BIPCOT NoGov license. The Free Talk SF is free to use and reuse by anyone except governments. Check out bipcot.org for more information. Okay, it's been a while since I've done a show on my own. I'm feeling good, feeling strong. I've achieved a lot of goals over the last week, done some really exciting liberty-oriented activities, and I wanted to share them with you. I've been doing a lot of Bitcoin evangelism around town and just generally trying to get people to take my Bitcoins in exchange for things like food and products. Basically, I've been trying to spend Bitcoin. And you would think that there's a lot of merchants in San Francisco who would be open to Bitcoin. And I think it's true. They are generally open to Bitcoin. But I've been talking to like cashiers, basically everyone when I'm checking out. And I've discovered a few good tactics, a few bad tactics. Trying this out with a few of my friends, and we did manage to have sushi at Sake Zone up, I think, near the Sunset. It's northwest of here in Haight-Ashbury. Sake Zone, they take Bitcoin. It was awesome. We went in there, three of us, and they had a Bitcoin accepted here sign. And we went in, asked to pay with Bitcoin. She said yes. When she brought the bill, it was awesome. She brought the bill and then a piece of paper with a QR code on it that had a Bitcoin address, and that was it. Like, it was super trusting. We paid the bill. I paid the tip in cash, but we paid the bill with Bitcoin, and I don't even know if they confirmed the payment or anything. They probably had a computer in the back somewhere, but they might have just trusted us to have paid, which I thought was interesting for sure. This Sake Zone is right next to the Internet Archive. So I need to go back there. I promised that if I find Bitcoin businesses that I would patronize them more often. And yeah, and so I also went down. I'm really happy about that. Sake Zone is now the first entry in the San Francisco Independent Business Index of businesses that take Bitcoin. And of course, the reason for Bitcoin being so important for independence is that it is a non-state currency that is global in scope, that you can control yourself with just a number, and no one else can take your coins ever. Ever. No bank is necessary. No government can inflate the money supply. So it's a huge step for independence, especially if you've studied monetary history. You know that the people's independence is always corroded and destroyed through inflation. Then the second place I went to that I did manage to spend Bitcoins was a new marketplace at 20 Mission. A 20 Mission used to be a cool live work space where, and they always had big Bitcoin events there. But now it's a market where there are several vendors set up. They have a bunch of their goods, their ware. And there's actually a Bitcoin shop in there, and I wanted to go and buy some stuff. Some friends of mine were filming Mad Bitcoins downstairs in the basement. There's a really cool studio, and I wanted to approach one of the vendors who had never taken Bitcoin before, and I wanted to buy something. So I bought a really nice leather clip for my iPhone cable to keep that all nice and wrapped up tight. And I asked her if she would accept Bitcoin, and she said yeah, she would, but she needed to ask some of the more experienced Bitcoiners how to do it. She had never had a wallet before. So we got her set up with a wallet. We avoided Coinbase, we avoided BitPay, just got her a real wallet right on her phone. It was Mycelium, the Mycelium wallet. And the awesome thing about this was, apparently the week before, during the Life on Bitcoin tour, when Austin and Becky from Life on Bitcoin, they were here in town, and they attempted to shop at this exact shop to buy something with Bitcoin. And the merchant at that time was with her husband, and they were trying to get them to take the Bitcoin, but it was too new. So basically, they just gave them an introduction, and they weren't able to spend Bitcoin that day. But I was the second person to come along. And by then, it had been baking in their head a little bit, and I did get to spend Bitcoin, and I set them up with their wallet. It was awesome. So that's really encouraging to me, going around these different businesses, and it's almost always that I'm the introduction to Bitcoin. And I'm the first person, or maybe the second person, and they've just either never heard of it or just heard of it, but don't understand the benefits. And but I know now that I'm paving the way for people in the future to come and like clean up behind me, just like I did with Austin and Becky. I came in, and they already had something going, so I got the wallet and I made it happen. Same thing can happen with you or me the second time I go back, but definitely you. Go and talk to merchants. Hopefully I've already been there, or someone else has, and now it's time. Yeah, I'm really, really stoked. I've heard, when I watched the Life on Bitcoin, there were, and apparently in Berlin, Germany, there are tons of stores that take Bitcoin, and all of them learned about Bitcoin from this one guy. He's like the Johnny Appleseed of Bitcoin. And that's just so awesome. I'm going to be that guy here in San Francisco. So now I have 3 businesses on the Independent Business Index. We have the gold bullion dealer, the sushi place, and 20 Mission. And I'm going to add a lot more. Super exciting. Okay, even maybe just as exciting is Trees.delivery. This is an awesome service that a friend of mine has started up, and I had heard about it, but I'd never seen it in action. What Trees.delivery is it is medical cannabis delivered directly to you, and now delivered via drones. So it's really cool. It's if you have a medical cannabis card, and they're started in San Francisco, they will deliver to you a box with several different types of cannabis, some rolling equipment, and everything you need. I think it's $150. You text message them, and they'll deliver the cannabis right to you. Super high quality. I love San Francisco. We have so much freedom here. I mean, you can get cannabis legally delivered to your door, even though the state of California says it's illegal, and even though the federal government says it's illegal, you can still get it, and nothing is going to happen to you, because San Francisco has decided to be independent and free, and empathize with people who like to use cannabis rather than putting them in prisons. Brilliant idea, right? So Marshall has created trees.delivery, and it's super fun, awesome site. He's going to come on the show tomorrow morning, I believe, to talk all about it. So I'm super pumped for that. I can't wait for Marshall to come on. And let's see if I can, I'll share the screen here. Trees.delivery. Here it is, text trees, and you'll get your personal cannabis concierge. You have the bud box, finest cannabis buds, and you have the extract box, finest cannabis concentrates. Now, I haven't ever tried the extract box, and I'm not going to get a medical cannabis card because personally, I don't think, well, I know that you don't need a cannabis card to acquire cannabis. And you don't need to ask the state for permission. But if you do want to use this service in particular, you do need a cannabis card. Apparently, cannabis card really isn't all that hard to come by. You just need, oh, well, where's my thing? Okay. Yeah, you need like a fake doctor to sign off on that for you. Okay, so some of the strategies we came up with for getting businesses to accept Bitcoin. I talked to several businesses here on Haight Street, and usually the cashier is not the right person to ask because the cashier can't make decisions about accepting new currencies for payment. Like they're not empowered to make that kind of decision. So the key is to ask, are you the owner? Are you the proprietor? Are you a high-level manager? Can you make decisions? And as a matter of fact, we went over to, I think it's called the Blue Cafe right over here, and asked if they were the owner, and she said, yes, I am the owner. And so we said, great. Started talking about Bitcoin. She wanted to know more. And unfortunately, I didn't have any flyers to give to her, but she wrote it down. She said she was going to look it up. And so I'm going to go press that back, but I'm going to order a whole stack of Bitcoin starter guide flyers. Speaking with a friend of mine in the South Bay about that now. And I want to get that done. I want every shop here on Haight Street to take Bitcoin. And I'm going to target the ones that seem to be owned locally, or smaller businesses, because those are the people that can use it to increase freedom in their own lives. And that's really what's important to me about Bitcoin is enabling people to increase independence, freedom in their own lives. And business owners get that more than almost anyone in the world. Business owners and, of course, cannabis dealers. I've yet to find any cannabis dealers who take Bitcoin, but not looking too hard. So, all right. So if you saw, I printed, last week I did so many cool things, had so much freedom in San Francisco. I went down to the Door Alley Festival, which is a big public BDSM, bondage, domination, submission, sadomasochism, sadism, masochism. A lot of people in restraints and harnesses. People dressed in leather as dogs, playing as dogs. People being whipped. All kinds of crazy stuff that we have the freedom to do out in public in San Francisco. It was wild and totally fun time. I love exploring kinky things and seeing what kind of kinks people are into. And it's awesome that can be, we have the freedom to do that here in San Francisco, just out in public. And I was fairly naked. I did have like a leather thong on and some other things. And it was great that I could just go, I could go on the subway like that. Awesome. And Finally, there is, and I don't know why I haven't seen this before, but there's the Ghost Gunner, a friend of mine, who has created the company Defense Distributed. They're the ones that made the 3D printed gun. Well, now they have a 3D gun printer, which is actually a CNC machine that prints AR-15 lower receivers. Super cool. The lower receiver is the part that you have to have a federal license or a state license in order to purchase the lower receiver. You can purchase all the other parts and assemble them together, but the lower receiver is what needs a serial number. And I 3D printed a plastic one last week, and now they have this machine that will CNC mill actual AR-15 lower receivers out of metal. So you could actually, without a license, without being traced, create and assemble an entire AR-15 rifle. Super awesome for independence, especially for people in oppressed areas. If we can get those printers out to people in oppressed areas where they can stand up for themselves, that will be immensely, immensely beneficial. Now, if you like this show, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and the Google Plus channel and share it on your social media. The best way you can support it is by sharing on your social media. If you want to support me in particular and independent money, search the App Store or the Google Play Store for XRP. The XRP mobile app is an independent Ripple wallet, which is totally peer-to-peer. And a friend of mine and I have created and released this XRP wallet. So please check that out. That would be an awesome way to support me. Send me a message. I'll send you some XRP. You can find my email at stevenzeiler.com. And of course, there's no revolution without dancing. So dance like no one's watching. Dance like no one's watching. And if you're going to send me a message or anyone a message, encrypt like everyone's watching. To stand up and encrypt is to make it literally impossible to be governed by violent criminals. Encrypt everything, please. And of course, be free. Empathize with people around. Talk to people, find out what troubles them, what makes them happy, what gives them ecstasy. Then serve them. Serve them as other people, as members of your community, as customers, as employees. And of course, strive to be independent. Independent people will take us to the stars. It's not going to be collective thinking. It's going to be independent people who bring empathy and peace to the rest of the world. Thank you for listening. I'm Steven Zeiler for Free Talk SF, freetalksf.com. Please join us tomorrow morning live at 7:30 a.m. Pacific with Marshall Hayner from Trees.delivery, talking all about his cannabis drone delivery company. It is revolutionary. You've got to check it out. I will post the link on freetalksf.com shortly before the program begins. And I hope to see you there. Thanks for tuning in and have a wonderful, wonderful free day.